What's going on, everybody? This is Al from PlaybookGamer.com. And in the last Dynasty video, we took on Iowa, our arch rival, in the Fiesta Bowl. That was a nice little storyline matching up with them again. They were our first loss of the season, but we got payback. We won by a touchdown. It was a wild and crazy game. We ended up having a really good fourth quarter to come out on top. But it was just a great way to end the season. So we finished the season 13th in the country, 11-2. And today we are going to do the off-season stuff, recruit, move players around, really fun things I'm really looking forward to doing. Now, before we head into the off-season, we need to look at a few things. First of all, I want to look at our recruiting, what we got coming in. That way you kind of have an idea of, when I go through these positions, kind of what we're going to look at. So we picked up a defensive tackle, local kid, 4-star, Carlos Owens. I'm excited about him. He'll probably start for us in a couple of years. Little scat back, Jonathan Doty, halfback. Really excited about getting him in there. He may end up playing quite a bit next year. We picked up a guard, much needed, as you will see here in a little bit. And we picked up a strong safety and a free safety. So to kind of keep that in mind as we go through our roster, because that's what we're going to look at next. We're going to look at our current roster, and we're going to just go through each position, kind of tell you what we need and don't need. While we're here, let's talk about guys who are leaving. Starting off, John Rollins, our Heisman winner last year. Just an incredible 2 seasons for us. He's been a great quarterback. Obviously, winning the Heisman trophies is never a bad thing. But let's go and let's look at his stats. People have asked me, hey, let's look at some individual stats. Well, here you go. So his junior year last year put up over 4,800 yards. This year he went 4,500. Nowhere near as many touchdowns and more interceptions. Just not as good of a season as he done that junior year. I don't know what really changed there, but he still put up really good numbers. Don't get me wrong. I wish the interception count would have went down a little bit, but that's all right. Either way, we salute you, John Rollins. We thank you for everything you've done for us. So while we're here in the quarterback room, you notice we got 4 guys coming back. Donald Fowler will be our starter next year. He's just better than the rest of them that are coming back. We got 2 freshmen that are redshirting, and we got a sophomore and another sophomore. One guy may get cut if we need to cut somebody. So we don't need to recruit anybody at quarterback this year unless there's just some big-time quarterback that really wants to come to our school. And you got to remember, our big recruiting rule is we can only go after 4- and 5-star kids from our own state. The rest of it is just 3-star everywhere, including our own state, of course. So just kind of keep that simple, but that makes things a little bit tougher. But we're good at quarterback for next year, which is a good thing. Halfback. So we got one committed, the Doty kid out of Michigan. We're losing this senior, Quentin Moore. You notice right here his stats. Rushing, we don't run the ball a whole lot in this offense. That's going to change a little bit next year. I'm going to get more into that into the preseason video in the next one. But running, he actually ran the ball way more this season than he did last year. Of course, he wasn't our top guy. But you look at receiving, 757 yards, 4 total touchdowns, plus the 233. He almost got 1,000 yards of total offense on the season. We're definitely going to miss him. He's been really good for us. So behind him, we got a junior in Whitaker, a sophomore, and a sophomore. We do got that new guy coming in, so that gives 4. But according to my notes, I wouldn't mind getting maybe one more because we do a lot of 2-back looks. And I need 2 guys out there at all times, and one goes down, then we're really kind of hurting there. So I wouldn't mind getting maybe one more halfback if I can find one that kind of fits. Fullback, we don't use these guys at all. It's just not part of the offense. Wide receiver. So we got 2 seniors, and we got 6 guys coming back. According to my notes, I really don't need any more than that. We don't go any beyond 3 wide receivers, so I don't need a ton of depth here. So I think 6 is enough, but let's look at the guys who were leaving. Senior Alex Daughtery, you notice here, had a really good season. He's been like my favorite player these last 2 seasons. I don't know what it is. He just always seems like he steps up for us, and he had a killer year this year. He had 7 touchdowns, over 1,100 yards. Actually had less touchdowns than last year. I don't know how that really worked out, but either way, just really happy for what he's done for us. We're definitely going to miss him for sure. The other senior, we'll just talk about him now, is Brian Walker. He has been our other tight end because of his speed, but he's helped us out when he could. Again, when you're splitting reps with the tight end, you're not going to get a whole lot of looks there. But anyway, thank you for what you've done for us. So those are the 2 seniors. Is it possible Thomas will want to leave early? I don't know. I mean, he's got some good numbers. If you notice these last couple of seasons, it actually went down from last year But he was just a slot guy last year, if I'm not mistaken. Or was he at the Z spot all last year? I don't remember. Either way, I hope he comes back next year. He'll probably be our #1 guy. So that's it for receiver. We're kind of good there. Let's talk about tight end, Ryan Neal. So he's going to get the solo spot every rep going forward next year. I can't imagine bringing somebody else in who can do better than him because of his speed and he can catch the ball. He's just far and away better than the other two guys. Well, if you notice, we don't have any seniors here, which means we're going to have all three of these guys come back. They're all really young, but according to my notes, I wouldn't mind getting one more just like Neal. I need another little speedster who can go out and catch passes and such. These other two guys, they can catch a little bit, but I got those guys because we just needed bodies here to avoid getting walk-ons stuck at this position. But if I can find one more kind of like Neal, I'm definitely going to go after him. Tackle, we got one senior, Wade Wright. We're going to miss him dearly. He's been a starter for us. There's no stats really to look at. He had plenty of pancakes. That's because we ran to his side a whole lot. But you back out, we're going to miss him quite a bit. We got the other four guys coming back. I do have on my notes, I wouldn't mind getting one more guy, though. I'd like to have 5 redshirt that dude. Because next year, we're going to have Simmons and 4 be our starters next year. Guard, we need a lot of help here. Notice we got 3 seniors and only 2 guys coming back. We're going to miss McFadden. We're going to miss Houston. And I don't remember Thomas playing much at all. It just didn't work out. We were just kind of loaded at this position up front. But behind it's a little rough. So we got this true freshman, Pat Smith. He'll start for us next year more than likely. This guy might as well. But we got one guard already committed. But according to my notes, I'd like to get maybe 1 or 2 more. That would be nice. Center. Both of these guys should come back. Tom Owens, he's been our starter. He's just a true sophomore, and we got a good backup. Well, I wouldn't say good, but we got a backup. I would like to get at least one more guy here to redshirt because Tom Owens ain't going to be around here forever. So that would be nice. Defensive end, this is a bit of a sticky situation. We got 2 seniors, Big Bad Bo Broussard, been our best defensive player the last couple of seasons. We'll definitely miss him. You look at his stats, kind of interesting. So he has a lot less tackles, but that's obvious. He was a middle linebacker for us last year. He's defensive end this season. He ended up with 18 sacks, got an interception. Only 1 forced fumble. Of course, you just don't do as much of that stuff at defensive end compared to like linebacker. But anyway, had a banner career for us. We're definitely going to miss that dude, no doubt. So the other senior is James Johnson. He was our right end for the last 2 seasons. Most of the time, the right end in this game just doesn't do as much as the left end. But he done well for us this year. I mean, he plugged it up on the back end. That's just kind of what I needed. I tend to have bigger dudes on that other side of the ball. But either way, just really hate that both of these guys are gone. They've been really good for us, which means we got 3 guys coming back, a junior, a freshman, redshirt freshman. That was a good pickup for us. And then a redshirt freshman, a true freshman, I should say, for this guy. I would like to get 2 more guys. I need depth here. I need about 5 dudes if possible. So I'd like to get at least 2 true defensive ends if I can. Defensive tackle, we got 2 seniors and 4 guys hopefully coming back. Now, we run a 5-2 defense. Whenever a team goes at least 2 wide receivers or less, we're bringing out the 5-2. And I need a lot of bodies here. So we only got 4 coming back. I'd like to have at least 5 on the active roster at all times. We got 1 committed, which is great, but we're going to lose another one. I'm sorry. I'd like to get him 1 more back if possible. So I've got on my notes. I'd like to get 1 more. But you look at the seniors we got here. Chauncey Lewis, look at his stats. Defensive tackles don't put up a lot of stats in this defense or just about in this game in general. It doesn't matter what defense you call. But another one is Jeremiah Sims, another senior. He done his part. And was there the only 2 seniors? Yes, those are the only 2. So we're going to miss those 2 guys greatly. As you can tell, it is a big drop off. So again, I'd like to get 1 more defensive tackle to complement the other guy that just committed for us. Outside linebackers, as you know, we run a 5-2/nickel, so we only have 1 outside linebacker on the field at all times. So we don't need a ton of depth here, and we don't have any seniors. So all 4 of these guys will hopefully come back. And so we are in really good shape. We got a sophomore, a freshman, a sophomore, and a junior. So we're in just a great shape there. I do not need anybody else right here. Middle linebacker, kind of the same thing. I just have 1 out there at all times, and we don't have any seniors. We got a junior, a freshman that is redshirting, and a true freshman where, if you notice, this is the athlete that I moved over to middle linebacker, but somehow his stats just did not go well. I don't know what happened, but he's got 95 speed. I got in my notes. I'm going to try to move him over to another position, and we'll see if that helps him at all. Otherwise, he's kind of useless here at middle linebacker. But otherwise, I actually wouldn't mind finding 1 more guy because we do got 2 2 juniors. I'd like to have at least one more guy redshirted, ready to go here in a couple of seasons. So we'll see what happens there. Cornerback, we're in great shape here. We got 7 dudes, not a single senior, and the top guy on our roster set all year because he's a transfer, Chad Smith. So he's going to come in and he's going to have 3 years to play. So I'm really excited about that. So all these guys are coming back. I do not need any more players. Free safety, I got one committed, and I don't have anybody leaving, supposedly. And we had this kid right here, Gutierrez, as our starting free safety just to get some speed on that side, because you can tell the speed here is not very good other than this freshman who may end up playing a little bit more next year. I don't know what I'm going to do there, but we do, again, we got a commitment here. So maybe that guy will come in and step up and start right away. We'll say I prefer to keep Gutierrez as a corner and have a true free safety here. So I think we're going to be fine. So I don't think I need any more bodies. Strong safety, Justin Smiley. I'm going to go ahead and look at his stats because there's a chance that he may want to leave. He has been an All-American for us, just an incredible ball player, made a ton of great plays, done good on tackles, had 7 interceptions, just an absolute stud. He's just a junior. If he goes to pro or wants to go pro, I'm going to let him. That's just another rule. Anytime somebody hints and wanting to go pro early, want to transfer out, I'm just going to let him go. It just makes things a little bit harder. So that's possible. But we do got one committed, which is good. And this guy's leaving. TJ Dowdell, he stepped up whenever he could. We can look at his stats, but it's not going to show a whole lot, as you see right here. So this will be interesting. According to my notes, I'd like to have one more strong safety. That would be great. Kicker, we got a freshman. I thought he'd done just fine this year. I thought his field goals, let's see, 11 to 13. I've done a good job kicking field goals this year, and he's just a true freshman, so we don't need anybody else. Punter, we got a junior and a sophomore, so I don't need anybody there either. So according to my notes, I added them all up. I need about a dozen or so players I'd like to fill. So if you go back to recruiting and you look at this right here, it says we got 55 players coming back, which means you got 15 spots left. We already have 5 committed, which means you take 70 minus 55 gives you 15 and minus the 5 as well. That means we only got really 10 spots to fill. And so that kind of lines up with what I have according to my notes. Having said all that, I think we're ready to head into the off season. So let's go ahead and do that. First thing we're going to do is budgets. So I'm going to go to off season schedule. We'll go to school budgets. And so what I normally do, I'm actually going to move this up to 25% discipline. We've had some struggles and that bar keeps going up. And so what I may end up doing, we're not losing a lot of players and I don't need a ton of points to play with because we only need like 10 more bodies. So I've thought about maybe doing 35. I'm going to do 25 right here. And I think I may just do 40 at training. Again, we got a bunch of players coming back and we're not losing a ton. We've already replaced some of them already. So I like this setup. So I think that's what we're going to go with. So let's go to do players leaving. So it'll be interesting. I'm expecting Smiley to go pro early. Somebody else may want to transfer out. We're about to find out here shortly. So it looks like we got a few dudes looking around. So Eddie Callahan, this guy did not play at all. Looks like he wants to go to Indiana. We got tackle Chris Simmons. So I need to add a tackle. Already have it. I needed 1. I'm going to change that to a 2. I'm going to let him go pro. He would have been a starter for us. But again, I just want to make things a little bit harder and let these guys want to grow elsewhere. Strong safety, Justin Smiley. There you go. I fully expected that. My hat's off to you. You're doing really good for us. So those are 3 extra guys, which means I can go after about at least 15 dudes, hopefully get them committed, and I think we'll be all right. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to let all 3 of these guys go, and let's head into recruiting. It's time to recruit. Let's have some fun. So the first thing I want to look at, we got to keep in mind, again, our big recruiting rule is I can only go after the 4- and 5-star kids from the state of Iowa. Everything else is 3-star and below. The next thing is pipeline. So we have Illinois as a pipeline, which I like. It produces a lot of talent and it's close. We also have Texas. I wanted to keep that along with Florida. Actually makes things a little bit harder to do that since it costs still just a little bit more to go after players from there. But they were pipelines to begin with, and I want to stick with those. All right, so we know what our 4 pipelines are. What we're going to do next is we're going to head in, and we're going to look at state prospects first. This is what matters, because the only 4- and 5-star kids we can go after are here. So here are 2 guys. Notice hardly anybody that's good from our state really wants to come here, except we got a 4-star guard we're definitely going to look at. So this is not the only 4-star we're going to get, apparently, unless that other guy is going to look. But either way, I'm going to go ahead. I'm not even going to scout this kid. I am going to go ahead. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and do that. It's only 3 points. We're going to go ahead and do a program prestige. I'm going to do the bare minimum. Let's just go and add him. We need bodies at guard anyways. So we're going to monitor this kid right here, Mike Patrick, a free safety. We technically don't need any free safeties, but you just never know. But he may be a 4-star that we can actually go after again. That's just because of my rule. So that's real easy and simple when it comes to our state. Let's go to interested prospects. Now look at all these 5-star kids. Now, of course, I'm not going to go after them due to our rule. But what we're going to do is go through each position and see what we got. So let's go down to these 3 stars. We got a Pennsylvania kid, Texas. Let's look at this one. Always look at the athletes. You just never know. So this kid, 6'5", 220. He looks like a defensive player, probably a strong safety, if I had to guess, just because it doesn't even show his hands. That tells me he's a defensive player. 4'6". I'm going to go ahead and we're going to just scout for now. I'm not going to put a scholarship on him just yet, but we'll do that. Let's keep going. Here's another kid out of Texas, 6'3", 188. Looks like he is a quarterback. He could do something more, but let's go ahead and just scout for now. So he's got terrible accuracy, and we run a West Coast passing attack. So that's not going to work, but I just wanted to check just to make sure. You just never know. Let's keep going. Here's a Florida kid. Let's look at him, 6'6", 215, a quarterback. That's not bad. B+ accuracy, 4.48. So that's interesting. I actually may put a scholarship on him out of the gate. His arm is good enough for me, especially the accuracy. But be able to run a 4.48, he's kind of like John Rollins, but could potentially be better, maybe. He's much faster. 4.48 is really fast. I think Rollins was like an 82 speed or something. I'm going to go ahead and just put a scholarship on him. Might as well. So we'll just do program procedure and get that one out of the way. Here's a 3-star kid, Oklahoma. I probably just won't look at him. I think we'll just focus on those 2 or that one guy for now. Quarterback, here's a bunch of 4 stars. We don't need a quarterback, but you just never know. Let me see. Here's a Texas. Let me look at this Texas kid. C+. I'm not going to bother there. All these other ones, again, I'm not going to bother. Let's just not waste our points on that one, because let's look at our points. We got 185 to spend. Halfback, we're kind of done. Nobody's really interested, and this is another reason why, because we don't run the ball a whole lot. Hopefully that'll change a little bit next year when I talk about what I'm going to add a little bit to the offense. Fullback, I'm not going to bother. We never use them. I'd rather them just force a walk-on on there. That way I don't have to waste points. So let's move on. Wide receiver, we know none of these are Iowa kids. Let's go down to the 3-star. Illinois, let me look here. We don't really need anybody, but I wouldn't mind being selective and finding a really good one if possible. A-, 4.37. A- hands, 4.37 on the speed. That's not too bad. Let's keep going. Here's a Texas kid. A+ hands, 4.52. That's a little scat. He could be like a future Miller. Ohio, Colorado. Here's a Texas kid. This guy could be a future outside guy. 4.65 A-. Look how big he is. 6'3", 222. Here, let me look at these other 3 stars. Here's one right here, 6 feet 211 out of Temple, Texas. B hands, I probably won't go after him. Illinois JUCO, A+ 4.39. I'm not going to put a scholarship on him just yet. We'll do that week 2. And that is it. Wisconsin, and we already looked at this kid right here. Normally, I don't go after JUCOs a whole lot, but that guy looks like an absolute stud. Would love to have him on my team, but we'll wait. That's not a big priority. Tight end kind of is. Let's look here. We got a Texas, Florida, Texas, Alabama. So let me go up to here. I got a scout to truly find out. 4.65 A+. Yes, this kid is an absolute beast of what I need. I'll just go ahead and put a scholarship on him. Here's a kid out of Florida. 4.82 A+. If he was faster, I probably would. He may be a contingency plan. What about this Texas kid? JUCO, 4.6 A-, not bad. And here's a Texas 3-star kid, another JUCO, 4.69 A-. I think that's it for, we got one more. Alabama, we're not going to recruit him. So, but this was the one I liked the best, 4.65 A+. The rest of these guys were either too slow or didn't have a good enough hand. So for now, we'll just go after the Temple kid. Can you imagine that could do to my offense? Gosh. Tackle, we need some help here. We need a couple of guys. Let's go to these 3 stars. And let's go find some pipeline guys. So here's a kid out of Texas. Let's just scout Arkansas. Here's a Texas, and Ohio, Mississippi, New Hampshire, and that is it. So we got 1, 2, and 3 that we are looking at. So let's look at this kid. Ira Hatchell, 5'11", 288. The big thing is his weight and height, but really his squat. How much can he push dudes around? 665 there. We got this kid, 655, 6'9", 292. Then we got 670, 6'4", 337. I think that is the guy I really want. Oh, let's go ahead and just put a scholarship on him. And I may put another one on one of these other guys. So one of the other two up here. So either this guy or that guy. Let's go look. 6'9", 292. He has a much better bench, this guy right here, than this guy. So I think I'm going to put a scholarship on him. So those are the 2 tackles we'll go after. Guard, we need 1 or 2 guys. We already got 1 committed. We're already looking after this 4-star in-state player. I got to be careful how many points. I got 107 points. I think I'm okay. But what I really need here is guys who can just push guys around because we're going to run the ball a little bit more. Let me scout here. Texas, Illinois, and I'm just running out of points really quickly. So let me just go look at these guys for now. So 620 on the squad, 690. That's pretty good. 690, 680. This kid had not this guy. He's 620. It's not enough. 620. Probably this guy right here, more than likely. It's either this guy or this guy. I'll probably go after this kid out of Laredo. Let me just do a little bit one on him. I'm going to just do one for now. But again, we already got 1 committed. Let's go to, I'll look at the other ones later in week 2. Center, I wouldn't mind finding another guy here. Let's go look at all these 3 stars. Let's see. Kansas, Texas, Tennessee, Morristown, Tennessee. That's really close to me. Ohio, Wisconsin, Nebraska, sorry. Let's try, Nebraska is actually pretty close to us. Let me look at this guy. A-. I want to look at the kid out of Texas, the JUCO. 640, I need somebody who's really smart, less high snaps. So A, 640 on the squat. Then you got A-, 680. I'm not going to... This isn't the biggest need for us, but I wouldn't mind going after one of these guys. I like this. Let's just go after this. I don't know. I'm going to wait. I've got him scouted. We can go after him later. Defensive end, this isn't looking good. We only got 1 3-star kid. He's a Texas kid. 473 A-. He may be a good right end for us. I'm going to go ahead and put a scholarship on him just so I don't forget it later. Then we got a bunch of little 2-star guys. I don't know if I'm going to bother here. I just don't think these guys will ever cut it, and they're not really fast. I need some speed there. Defensive tackle, I guess we're good there. Nobody else seems to be interested. The outside linebacker, we're good. Middle linebacker, nobody is interested. Okay. Outside linebacker, we technically don't need anybody here. Let me scout this guy just in case. 465 A, not bad. Free safety, we already got 1 committed. We're kind of good at that position. It's strong safety that we need some help. So here's a 3-star kid out of Texas, thankfully. TJ Willer, A-, 448. I'm going to go ahead and just put a scholarship on him. We'll just do program prestige for now. And here's a 2-star kid out of Iowa. I mean, I can give him a shot, a 448B. He could be a contingency plan if needed, because, again, we need some bodies there. But I'm not going to put a scholarship on him just yet. 5-star kicker's interesting. That's cool. Here's a 3-star kicker. Can he be better than what I have? Probably not. His accuracy isn't very good. We got a punter, 2-star out of Iowa, B+, A-, but we already got 2 guys already coming back. So I don't know. He may be good down the road, but I think we're already okay there. So we got 35 points to spend. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and to my current targets, and we're going to dump some points on some guys. I'm going to go ahead and dump. I'm going to do like 15 for him. I'm going to do like, which one's really important? I really like this tight end. The strong safety is really important. One of the tackles maybe. Probably the strong safety needs to get some attention. Let me do that. And this tight end, I'm going to give him some extra attention. I'm going to give him 8 points. Now we're down to 1 point. So do I have an Iowa kid? I may not be able to move this anywhere. Let me look. I got 1 point, can't do it there. It's going to have to be an in-state kid in order for that to work. And if not, it's not that big of a deal. It's just 1 point. I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. See, I'm already maxed out for that guy. All right, so I think that's it for week 1. So these are the initial guys we're going to go after. I'd like to get all of them, and then we're going to work off the week 2 players and all that good stuff. So let's head in to week 2. Well, this is a nice surprise. We got a commitment week 1, which rarely happens. The tight end, Nick Temple out of Texas. Absolute stud. Look at, he's 6'8", 232 pounds, but he's got 8+ hands and he runs a 4.65. That is an awesome pickup. Exactly what I needed. I needed one, and there he is. Good deal. So the next thing we're going to do is I want to go back to my current targets and let's do some maintenance work with these guys. So Justin Parks, the 4-star guard, program prestige, we're going to max him out. He should commit to us. We're going to get lucky with that guy. Good deal. So let's go to the next guy, TJ Wheeler, strong safety. We need to figure out what he is into. 3-star. I'm going to try. Let's do coach prestige. I got that up to like a 6-star by now. Surely I do. I'm going to go ahead and do coach prestige, and then we'll go to location for a lot of these other ones. So let's go Kelly Thomas. Here's another guard. We need help. We need at that position. Let me go just do coach prestige for now. Defensive end, Jake Wilson. Let's see what he's into. We don't know. Let's just do coach prestige. Tackle, same thing. Another tackle. I'm going to do coach prestige. Athlete. My guess, some of these, you just never know what these guys are interested in, but we're going to do coach prestige for the rest of those. So at least we know we got one of these guys with a very good chance we're going to get his commitment, the local kid. So we're done there. What we're going to do now, we're going to go to state prospects, and normally this is my week 2 deal. So the week 2 deal is always look for like a down arrow. Somebody got mad that we didn't go after them, recruit them at all, and I wanted to make sure this 4-star free safety wasn't one of them. So it looks like that arrow didn't change, which means we have no chance of getting him. Not that big of a deal. So let's go to interested to all prospects. Actually, yeah, let's do all prospects. This is what matters more is the week 2 guys. So let's go here. Let's go to athlete. So let's go down to the 3-star and look for any down arrow. So I'm going to go ahead and speed this up. This guy was already in our top 5. So what we're looking for is a player like this. We have a down arrow, but we're not in his top 5, which means we have a chance of getting this kid. We just need to know what he's into. But he's a kid out of California. I think I'm going to bypass him. I want to keep it just a little bit harder. Here's a kid out of Arkansas. Here's one out of North Dakota. And that is kind of it, really. I think I'm going to move on. Let's just go to quarterback. We don't really need any help here, but you just never know with some of these guys. These guys were already interested. 3-star was interested. Kid out of New York. Kid out of Washington. Kid out of Texas. 6'7", 223. I'm actually curious. I got to check his arm. If his arm is excellent, A+, B+. I'm going to write his name down. Let's just go ahead and do that. QB Brian McNeil. I wouldn't mind at least going and getting one of these guys. But look at all these 3-star kids that are already interested. But I just want to check those guys out for sure. So that's another. Let's keep here's like another one out of Louisiana. That's not a pipeline. All right, let's go to halfback. This is, I'm curious. I'd like to find one. Like here's a 4-star kid I'd love to go after. But we can't. He's in another state. Let's go. Anybody? Here's one, a 3-star kid out of Michigan. That's kind of close. Let me just go ahead and look here. 4.37. He's got decent hands too. My halfbacks should still need to catch for me. I'm going to go ahead and just put his name down. Wallace. Already got one kid out of Michigan. Wouldn't mind if I can get a couple backs out of that state. And that is it for the 3-star. I'm not going to go any farther. Fullback, we don't bother. Look at all these wide receivers. Let me go to the 3-star. Again, this isn't a huge need for us. Here's a kid out of Nebraska that's super close. I'm going to go ahead and look at him. Let's just scout him. 4.48. Just scouting a player just gives them attention. That's all they're really looking for. 4.48, A+ hands, 6'6". We're going to just say yes on all this. If I can get one wide receiver, then I'm happy. I just need one. That's more than good enough. Here's another 3-star kid out of California. I'm not going to bother. Let's keep on going. Here's another one out of Florida. 6'5", 171. 4.37, B on the hands. He's got a great name, Will Papinga. I'll put his name down just for the name alone. Awesome name. Wish he had better hands, though. Keep on going. Like here's another 3-star to Utah, one out of Arkansas. Arkansas is kind of close. Let's go to tight end. I'm not going to look at tight end. We're good. We already got that one committed, so I'm going to move on. We need more help here. Let's look at some 3-stars. Here's one out of Ohio. That's pretty close. Here's Oregon. Let me look at this kid out of Ohio. That's not too far. 516, 470, 640. I'll put the name down. Brandon Cole. Always write the week 2 guys down. That way you'll know later what to look for. Here's another 3-star kid. How many points do I got, by the way? Let's see. I'm good. I got 152. Here's a kid out of Texas. Let's look at him. 426.55. I'll at least put the name down and we'll compare them in the next week if he puts us in his top 5. Coley. Here's a kid out of Oklahoma. That's actually not too far. South Carolina. I can look at the kid out of Oklahoma. 6'4", 357. Golly, that's huge. Let me look. Hey, wow, he's humongous and he's super strong. And he's smart too. Nice. Xavier Oliver. I hope he puts us in his top 5. I'd love to go after that kid. South Carolina, New Jersey, and that's it. Guard, this matters a little bit more. Let's go down. We need some more bodies here. So here is one out of Arizona. Here's one out of Florida. That's a pipeline. 695 on the squat, over 300 pounds. I would love to have him in my program. I'm going to go put down his name, Julian West, I should say. Here's another one out of Louisiana. And then now we're down to the 2-star. All right, center. I wouldn't mind finding somebody here. North Carolina, Ohio. That's already in our... He's already interested. I was looking. We've already looked at those guys. Here's a kid out of Texas, 6'6", 285. Awareness, not good at all, so I'm going to bypass him. Kid out of Florida. Let's look at this kid. This is much better. He's smarter, at least. I'm going to put his name down, Scott Powell. Here's some more 3-star. Louisiana, another Morristown kid. That's awesome. And that is it. All right, defensive end. We need some help here. Just anybody. So here's a 3-star kid out of Ohio. I'm going to go ahead and put his name. Yeah, 4'6". Ohio's close enough. Let's put that name down. Defensive end, Alex Smith. Okay. Here's a 3-star kid out of Michigan. I'm going to go ahead and put the name down. 4'6'5". He is not smart at all. Gosh, look at that awareness. That's awful. If he could just get to the quarterback, that's good. Put his name down. Here's another 3-star, Oklahoma and Alabama. Let's look at the Oklahoma kid. That's much closer. 4'6". I'll put the name down. That's fine. Rory Davidson. And we already looked at that 3-star kid. Anybody else? And now we're down to the 2-star. All right, defensive tackle. I'd like to get one more guy. And looks like that ain't going to happen at this position. We already got one committed, so I think we're going to be okay there. This kid's out of Texas. We'll love to go after him, but again, that doesn't fit my role. Outside linebacker, we don't need anybody. Middle linebacker, these guys can make good utility players for or middle linebacker, outside linebacker, and defensive end. Like here's a 3-star kid out of Illinois. 4'6". Yes, let's just put the name down. Kyle Busch. Not to be confused with the race car driver. Let's go. Illinois kid, Rocky Butler. Man, his name just screams linebacker. 4'5'6", A+. Let's just go ahead and put that name down. And he's big enough to probably play defensive end if needed down the line. Ricky Butler. And that's it. All right, corner. We don't need any corners. We're just loaded there. Free safety. I don't need anybody here, but I'm just going to check. You just never know. Nope. What about strong safety? This is way more important. We need some bodies here. So here's a kid, Virginia. What about here? Oklahoma. We may have to turn Oklahoma to a pipeline the way they keep producing, but again, that's super close to us. Let's go and put his name down, Jason Patrick. I also need some speed there, but I can't be too choosy. And that's it. We got kickers, which we really don't need. We got one guy's been good enough, and we don't need any punters. So athlete is the only thing. So I'm going to take my speed thing off, and let's go back to interested prospects. And let me just look at these athletes. I may add one more to the list. Texas, we're already going after, let's see. 4.6. I just don't know what this guy can do, but we're going to put a scholarship on him. Ooh, okay, program prestige. All right, I guess we will. Let's go ahead and let me do like 8 on this guy for now. Completely forgot about that. What about this athlete? Oh, wow, okay. Another kid out of Texas. Now, I'm not going to go after him because he's a quarterback that can't throw, but he would be on our roster if we wanted to. What about this kid out of Oklahoma? Yeah, he doesn't have a good enough arm. I'm not going to bother. So that was kind of it, I think. So we'll go after that guy. That worked out okay. Nice. So I think we're kind of done. I got 72 points to play with. So I need to put those on somebody. But is there anybody else I just kind of need to look at? So Mark Nelson, for whatever reason, did I not bother to go after him? I don't know why. I don't know what happened there. B on the hands. Like, I don't know why I didn't recruit him. Was he not on the list? I think he got put on the list. I don't remember him on the previous week. That's weird. Okay, let's keep going. Was there any wide receiver? Let me look. What are you going after? I'm not going after any of these guys. But let me look and see which ones I scouted. If I have a positive pitch on any of them. If you got a positive pitch on one and you kind of fit what I'm looking for, then yeah, I'll definitely add you. So I think that was it. So none of them had a positive pitch. So let's go and put one on the list. Which ones do I like? 437 A minus, 442 A plus, 465 A minus, 435 B, 439 A plus. He's the JUCO. The thing is, we already got 6 guys coming in, so this guy needs to be really special and like play pretty well out of the gate. JUCO. If I get a JUCO, that means I need somebody there immediately, and I don't need anybody there immediately. I already got bodies there. Like, let me just go back and look at my roster. Oops, I went to the wrong one. Let's go to returning players. Let me just look at my receivers real quick. So Thomas is going to start. Miller's going to start probably in the slot still. And then we'll probably have Jackson. I mean, what are the odds of any of those little 3-star receivers we just looked at going to be better than these guys who are going to get a bump in training as well? My guess is probably not. So that JUCO guy isn't worth it, even though I like his stats. I hope that makes sense. Let's go back to interested prospects. Let's go back to receiver. None of these guys really caught my eye. I was like, oh my gosh, you got to get this kid. The only thing is, do I need one of those really big guys that could be outside receivers? Like this guy right here could be a good outside guy, Daryl Kirk, just because of his size, and A minus is good enough. 5'10", and here's the 6-footer. So that's probably the one I'll just go after for now, but one of those week 2 guys may be able to help us too. So let me go to Kirk is his name. I think I'll put a scholarship on this guy. I like, just again, the size. He would be good at outside receiver for us. Let me go ahead and do like coach prestige here. Okay. We were good at tight end. Tackle, we're already going after 2 guys, so we're good there. Let me look at guard. We're already doing plenty there, but center, is there anybody that just caught my eye? Let me just look at any one of these guys that I scouted that I did not put a scholarship on. So it's either this guy or this guy right here. I'll probably go after A minus, let's see, or A, but he's a JUCO sophomore, which means by the time my starter leaves, this guy will be a senior. So I'd rather build up this guy, Brian Reed, out of Nebraska. So I think that's what we'll do. So I think I'm going to put a scholarship on him. Let's just do coach prestige for now. Okay, let's look at the rest. So defensive end, I'm going after one, but I need a couple of more. Hopefully one of the couple of those week 2 guys will work out, but see, it's very limited what I'm looking at for here. Defense tackle, we're good there. This kid right here, I scouted him. He looks the part, but we just don't need any help there. We're good at corner, good at free safety, a 2-star. We just don't need him. We're already going after this Wheeler kid. So I think we're good. I mean, I think we're good at all the guys that we're kind of going after and what I was looking for. So let's just go to current targets and let's max out whoever we need to max out. I think we only had that one we had to max out. We're looking for the positive pitches. I think it was just that guard. Let me max out this guy, this athlete. And I think that was it. So we'll distribute our points with the remaining guys. I just want to make sure I didn't have anybody commit elsewhere. Looks like we haven't yet. So let's go back to the very top. We're good there. I'm going to max, let's do like 16 here. Let's do like 16 here. We'll do 8 here. And now we're down to 4 points. And let's do 6 here. And let's do 4 there. Now we're down to exactly 0 points. That worked out pretty well. All right, that was a very fun week 2. A lot of things happen. Let's see if week 3 can produce any good stuff for us. We did not get any commitments. I was kind of hoping that guard would commit, but maybe he will in the next week or so. So let's go straight to current targets. I want to go straight down here to see if anybody committed elsewhere. Not yet. All right, that worked out okay. So let's go to the very top. Justin Perks. We just need to, keep punching at him. Hopefully he'll do something there. So let's go and put this kid right here, halfback. Let's do location for him. Location's a really good popular pitch for 3-star and below. So let's try here. What about this guy right here? Positive pitch on Coach Prestige. Good deal. Let's do 16 for him. Let's do location for this guy. We're going to do 16 for, let's do 30 max out for that guy. Let's go location for him. I'm going to do location for this guy, if I can get to it. There it is. Another tackle, we'll do location until we figure out what they like. Here we go. Here's a program or Coach Prestige that worked out. Let's just do 16 for him for now. That one worked out good. Good deal. And that is it. So for now, so what we got 104 points. So the next thing we're going to do is look for those week 2 guys. So what we're going to do is go to the instant prospects. And let's just go through each one. Starting off, let's go to quarterback. We have one, and Brian McNeil, 3-star kid. Is he on here anywhere? There he is. Brian McNeil, A+, B+. I love that he's super tall. I just think that's awesome. But I'm going to go ahead and put a scholarship on him. Was there like another quarterback that really caught my eye that was like super fast, or was he like an athlete that I missed? I don't remember. Do you know which one I'm talking about? I think it was another player. Either way, I like this kid. I'm going to go ahead and put a scholarship on him. Oh, there we go. We got a positive pitch to go with us. That worked out well. Let's just go ahead and do like 16 for him. All right, halfback. We had Wallace. He's not on there. Let's go to receiver. It is Nelson and Papinga. 3-star kids, Nelson and Papinga. And I don't see either one of them on there. They may show up in week 4, possibly. But I do not see them on there. So let's move on. Let's go to tackle. We have Coley Oliver. Coley Oliver. So there is Xavier Oliver. This is the humongous individual that's really strong. I want this kid. So let's just go ahead and do like Coach Prestige. Okay, so what about Cole and Coley? Nope, they're not on there. Okay, what about guard? West is his last name. Let's go look for West. There he is, Luke West. No, it's a J West. That ain't him. There he is. This kid right here, Julian West. He's strong. He's big. Exactly what I was looking for. Let's just do Coach Prestige for now. Okay. Now we got defensive end. We got a few of these guys. We got Smith. I can't even read my own writing. Yeah, I think it's Smith, Warren, and Davidson. There's Warren and Davidson, these two guys right here. So 4.65 D-. Then you got this JUCO kid, 4.69. We probably need to go after both just because we need some bodies there. So let's just go and add both. Ooh, that's nice. That worked out well. Looks like we can get that kid. So the Smith kid is not there, which is fine. A couple middle linebackers we need to look at. That is one of them. Kyle Busch. He's really small. So he's a true middle linebacker, but we got a positive pitch. That worked out good. Nice. All right, so strong safety is the last guy. Strong safety, it is Patrick. There he is, 3-star kid, 4.46. Fits exactly what I'm looking for. So let's just go ahead and put a scholarship on him and figure out what he's into after the fact. So that is it. There's nobody else to really look at. So we're going to go back to interested targets or current targets. And we're going to max out whoever we can max out. So we've maxed him out. It's usually week 3 and beyond where it goes by really quickly. I'm going to max that dude out. We can't do any more there, which is fine. We were good there. Anybody else? We're good there. Well, actually, I can. I just completely forgot about that. I'm going to put 16 here. I'm going to go back up. Was it this kid? Let me see. Do I need a... that's not the biggest need in the world. This strong safety, defensive end, this Davidson kid, we maxed him out. For some reason, I thought I just put 16 on one guy. I maxed him out. So maybe I was just wrong. So let me go back, just make sure. I forgot that I do have the points. So like this center, do I need to put 30 there? I really rather not, because he's not going to start for a couple years. The athlete, we've maxed him out. Guard, tackle. I may just do 30 for this kid. Anybody else? Any other positive pitches? I'm not seeing it. We got that kid. He's already at 16, which is fine for now. Athlete, we're good at 16. And that is it. So we are down to how many points? I got to put them on somebody. 6 points. Let's go up to the very top and put them on somebody. We'll go up to, let's see. I'm going to do, there we go. Let's put 8 points on that guy, on the halfback. How about that? All right, so we're down to 0 points. That was a really quick week. The next couple weeks are going to be the same thing. Let's head into week 4. Now we're cooking. We got 5 commitments. We got a 4-star guard, the in-state kid. That's awesome. He's, I guess, going to be our best player in the class. We'll see. But either way, a 4-star guard. He'll probably start for us really soon. Middle linebacker, Kyle Busch, the week 2 middle linebacker. Awesome get. Really glad to have him. We got our first defensive end, hopefully one of a 2 or 3 we got. Quarterback, Brian McNeil. He's our lone quarterback for this class. I'm happy to get him. And we got a tackle. So we're loading up on the lines. That's good. So the next thing we're going to do is go over to current targets. Let's go through and take out anybody that committed elsewhere. Here's one, defensive end, Warren. I'm going to just take his name out altogether, and I did. Anybody else? That's it. So we've actually done good about people just going elsewhere. So let's go back to the very top. 52, 11, so I got 63. So I got 7 more spots to fill out of these 10 or so guys, plus any week 2 guy that may put us up on our list late. So here's Mark Nelson. We don't know what he's into. Let's just do there for now. Strong safety. We need to figure out what this guy wants. I'm going to do playing time for him. Brian Reed. I'm going to just max him out. We're going to max this kid out. We're going to, okay, let's just keep maxing these guys out. Strong safety. We need to figure out what he's into, and we need help there. So let's just do playing time for now. Guard. I'll just do 16. We'll do location for this tackle. Another defensive end. We'll probably do playing time for now. Another tackle. I'll probably just do, let's do coaching style for him. Wide receiver. We're going to do 16 for him. Athlete. Let's just do 16 for him. Now we're already just down to 4 points. So we're running out of points. How many scholarships do I got left? I got 2 left. So this is working out great. So it just kind of comes down to what else I want to go after. Like when it comes to, I'm looking at my week 2 guys again. Like here's the Wallace kid. So it just took him an extra week to get on. But this kid may be worth going after. I could go, we're already looking at how many tackles. We're already going after there. We're good. Let's say center. I'm already going after one that we're targeting. Powell was his name. Let me go to center. He's not on there still. And the other one was just another middle linebacker in Butler. There he is, 3-star middle linebacker, Illinois 456 A+. I like this kid. I'm going to go ahead and just put a scholarship on him. And now we're down to 2 points. I think I may just go after that halfback because we haven't got a commitment from that other one yet. This kid right here, the Wallace kid out of Michigan. Let's just do coach prestige, and boom. Now we're down to exactly 0 points, no scholarships left. I may end up over recruiting a bunch here if that happens, and just so be it. So that was another really quick week. So we got technically 1 more week to recruit. Let's do it. We picked up a few more commitments. Wide receiver, Kirk. I actually need to write some of these down. We got him. We got Wheeler, strong safety. That's good. We got one of him. And we picked up this athlete, Steve Willis. Is this the kid that can, well, we don't know what he can do, but I think he may be a good strong safety for us or something. We're going to find out. But really excited to have him. So let's go back to current targets. And let's take out anybody that committed elsewhere. Butler, that was a late addition. Doesn't surprise me. Here's the halfback Wallace and just another late addition. Here's the defensive end. And that is it. So we are down to these remaining players. So let me go here to Mark Nelson. We don't know what he's into. I'm just going to do the minimum for now. Center, Brian Reed. I'm going to do 30. Let's do 16 for now in case I need those points for something else. Like we'll do 16 for this guy. Strong safety. I want my, we already got one committed, don't we? So we got 2 on the roster. They're both freshmen. This guy would be another one as well. Let me just do location for now. Guard. We'll do 16 for him. We still need bodies there in the worst way. I'm going to do coaching style for this tackle. We'll do 16 for this guy. And the athlete, I would love to have him. So we're good there. So all we got left is 3 spots to fill. The biggest issue, in my opinion, we got the middle linebacker. So I'm going to mark him off. I can't get any more defensive tackles. I think defensive end was our other problem. We got 4 on the roster, apparently. We got that freshman and we got 3 coming back. The center, we're still going after him. Guard, we got 4 on the roster and 2 we're still going after. And tackle, we got 3. We got 4 on the roster, plus we're going after. So I made just one more defensive end. I think that's kind of it. So let me just go look at defensive ends one more time. Just make sure I didn't miss out on anybody. And the only ones, here's Smith. Oh, there he is. That's that kid. Wow. Now it looks like I'm going to do 30 on that kid. Nice. That worked out well. If we can get him, that's the key. So that was the other one. That's a week 2 kid. It just took him like 3 weeks to put us on his top 5. So let's go back to current targets. And how many points I got left? I got 5 points. Can I put them on anybody? We'll do 4 here. We'll do 4 there. Now we're down to 1 point. I probably won't be able to put that on anybody, but we can check it. Nope. No, it have to be an in-state player, and I don't think we're have any more. So that is it. We are done with recruiting. Let's see if we can pick up a few more commitments from this little group right here, and let's wrap up recruiting. Here's the last group of commitments. Tackle C.J. Brown out of Texas. We picked up another athlete. I'm always excited about athletes. You just never know what those guys can do. We got a center, and that's good. We built up a little depth there, and we got another guard. So I think that worked out really well for us. So let's go over to top classes. Actually, let's look at our signings first. Let's go to view signings. So we ended up with... let's just go to view signings. Let's start off athletes. So we picked up 2 athletes, Caesar and Willis, Florida and Texas. Those pipelines are staying alive there. Quarterback Brian McNeil, really excited about this kid. Who knows what he can end up doing for us. And what I may end up doing is I need to get some thumbnails. Let me go ahead and get a couple of these while I'm here. Let's go over to halfback, Jonathan Doty. This is the in-state player. Really excited about what he can do. A little scat back. Wide receiver, we did pick up this kid. Let's see what he can look like. I'm going to go ahead and get a thumbnail for him. Not bad. I think he could be good outside receiver for us at some point. This is the kid that looks like the best of the bunch. I don't know. He just looks incredible. I'm going to go ahead and put get a thumbnail of him as well. This guy can be an absolute beast for us. We picked up a couple of tackles, some 3-star kids, a Texas kid and another Texas kid. You look at the guards, the 4-star kid out of Iowa, our lone 4-star in-state player from the offseason. We got one out of Texas and we got one out of Florida. So again, we're keeping those pipelines alive. We got a center out of Nebraska. Again, that's a super close state to us. So that was a natural fit. Defensive end, Rory Davidson. I think this guy could be really good for us. I'm going to go ahead and get a thumbnail of him. Defensive tackle. This was an in-state kid, Carlos Owens. Really excited to have him. Middle linebacker, Kyle Bush, which I think is going to be on the all-name team. I'm going to go ahead and get a thumbnail for him. And then free safety, Ryan Williams. This was another in-state player. Hopefully he can be good for us. And we got a couple of strong safeties, 2 3-stars in Illinois and 1 from Texas. No kicker and no punter. Let's go over to top classes. So LSU, Texas Tech, they're in our conference. And you got Purdue, Virginia, Oklahoma State. So Oklahoma State's right there just recruiting. Look at they picked up 3 halfbacks. Golly. That's something we'll have to deal with here. Maybe not. I think we do a home and home with them, and then we won't have to see them for a while. There's Iowa. They're still recruiting hard. Florida State, Maryland. Are we down here somewhere? I figure we are. I'm just going to quickly go through the rest of these. We made it in the top 25. 2 4-stars, 16 3-stars. All right, good deal. So let's back out. Let's head into position changes. This is where things will get interesting. So I got to remind myself about the little kid at the middle linebacker. We're going to move him around. So quarterback, here's McNeil, just a 68 overall. I don't know if he'll ever get the play, but I'm glad we picked him up. I'll probably take this guy out of the equation more than likely. If you go back, notice we got exactly 70 players. That worked out really well, so I don't have to cut anybody. But that is the new guy. We don't have to move anybody around at this position, though. Halfback, we got 3 players here. That's it. Whitaker, Crawford, and there's that little scat back Doty. So this will be interesting. What's going to happen here? Maybe one of those athletes I may move over. We'll see. Fullback, we don't have to worry about this. Wide receiver, did we pick up anybody? I thought we did. We picked up the Kirk kid. There he is, 68 overall. He's going to be a project. He's super slow, 76 speed. Man, that's really slow. He can catch okay. Either way, he's at the bottom of the bunch. We'll see him maybe in a couple seasons, I guess. Tight end, boom, there you go, 78 overall. Nick Temple, 76 speed. His catch isn't as good as Neil, but Neil's like 2 years older than him, so I didn't really expect that. But either way, this guy could be a future stud for us down the line. Really excited to have him. He'll probably get a special number at the end of the video. Tackle, I do need to move a couple of these guys around. I like my best tackle. I probably need to have at right tackle because we run to the right a lot. So my best tackle needs to be on the right. So that's Chris Ford. Who's going to be my starting left tackle? This redshirt junior or this true freshman? It will more than likely, or this guy right here, it'll more likely be Matt Hall because he's going to get some training. So I'm going to put him at left. I will probably put this guy, I'm going to keep him at left. I'm going to keep this guy at right. So I'm okay with all of that. All right, guard. True freshman Justin Parks. That was a good pickup for us. Nice. He's one of the in-state kids. Julian West was another one. So we are picking up some good guys. That's nice. Let's see. This guy will get some training. I need to put somebody at left guard, the other one at right. This guy, I'm going to put him at left. These 2 freshmen, I may just keep it right for now. I actually may do like right guard here. We may do like left guard there. It just depends. Like blocking, I need good blockers everywhere, so it doesn't really matter. I don't think I can move these guys around pretty easily if needed. Center, we picked up this guy right here. Good pickup, Al. Brian Reed, 78 overall. Yes, future starting center. He will take over for Owens here in a couple of seasons. That worked out really well. Defensive end, we're kind of thin here. Again, we may have to move somebody around. We'll see. I need some speed at left end and some bigger dudes on the other side. So this guy could, true freshman, I may have him play right. He's still got good speed, 74, but I need the more nimble guys on the left, like this guy. He will be our starting left end, right end. I will probably 6'3", 236, 240. I'll probably put this guy left. But this was a good pickup for us. We needed that. Rory Davidson. Really excited to see what he can do for us there. Defense tackle, we did pick up a new guy. 78 overall. He was a 4-star in-state kid, if I'm not mistaken. That worked out really well. Good pickup. Very happy about that. So we got 5 dudes there. I would like to have 6, but that's okay. I think we'll be fine. Outside linebacker, all my best ones need to come over here. They got to play left. That's how that works in this one. They all need to stay at left. So I don't think we got anybody new here. Middle linebacker, we did pick up some new guy. Kyle Busch, 72 overall. Was that it? I think that was. And this little kid, I got to find a better place for him. Like look at his speed, 95 speed. So I'm going to put him somewhere, and maybe he'll jump up a little bit in ratings. 68 at halfback. That's interesting. He can play tight end. Of course, that ain't going to work out. We will look at our safety position and see what we got to move somewhere. Then we may change it. Otherwise, I'm going to move him definitely. Corner, we don't need to move anybody. We're all really good here. We didn't have to pick anybody new either. Free safety, we got a bunch of bodies. We got Rick Carter, the junior, David Murphy, true freshman Ryan Williams. That was I think is a 4-star in-state kid. No, he was a 3-star Texas kid. At least he's faster than the other 2, but he's definitely a redshirt guy. And we got Sam Dodd. Looks like I probably need to move this kid right here over the strong safety. Let's give that a shot. Now we got a little bit of depth here at least. So the true freshman, TJ Wheeler, 74 overall, not a bad pickup. Here's another true freshman, Julia Sims, just a 70 overall, 82 speed. And then we got this kid. It would be hilarious if this kid got a big jump and got ahead of everybody on that one. Otherwise, we're going to have a true freshman starting in that position, a big drop off from what we had last year. Kicker, we didn't get anybody new. Punter, we didn't get anybody new. So here's a couple of athletes. This will be interesting. This is really exciting. Let's see what these guys can get into. All right. Fullback, no. 72 tight end. Can he catch at all? Not really. Defensive end, possibly. 68, 70, 70. So it looks like this guy is by far and away a defensive end of some sort, which doesn't hurt my feelings. Yeah, I think he's going to be a defensive end. Like fullback, we don't use. We don't need any more tight ends. So he's a defensive end. It is obvious. I mean, that is his position by far. So 78 speed, and he's not the biggest in the world, which tells me he is a natural left end. That worked out really well. Good deal. So you go over to defensive end. So we got that left end. We got this true freshman. So we got two true freshman left ends. We got that right end. I think that's going to work out really well. I really like it. That's awesome. So I think we're in good shape there. So let's go look at this other guy. What can this guy do? So Steve Willis is a defensive end. What about Pete Caesar? 74 quarterback. Was this the kid that we was looking at that's got the speed and can throw the ball a little? Was that it? Throwing power and act? Yeah, that's him. I completely forgot who that was. Well, I think this is it. By the way, let's just keep looking. So quarterback, definitely. He could play a little corner, free safety. He can play some free safety, but he's got 84 speed. I need some better speed there. But 84 speed at quarterback, yes. And with that kind of arm, he could be a future star for us. So you go over to quarterback. Look at all these quarterbacks. I may drop a dude just so I can. Like we got 7 quarterbacks. I may drop like this junior or something. We don't need 6. We got 7 of them. Gosh, that's a ton of quarterbacks. But we're good there. I mean, we don't have to cut anybody either. So we're good at these positions right here, these 2 athletes. So that worked out really well for us. So let's move on to training. Let's look and see how well we've done with training. Let's start off at quarterback. I always like to sort this by overall. So see here, Fowler will more than likely be our starter, but Dean went up 4, redshirt freshman. Again, we're going to look at their arms in the next video. Then you got Peoples and Johnson and Falk. So that, I mean, a good training there. Halfback, Whitaker, definitely be our number 1 guy. Crawford will more likely be our number 2. But 6 and 4, that's really good. Don't have to worry about fullback. Wide receiver, our top guys went 1, 2, 2, 0, 0. And of course, your worst player at the bottom goes up the most. That's typically how that happens. You go to tight end. Neal went up 4. Baker went up 4. That's good. I wish Baker was a little bit faster, and his catch isn't the best in the world. So I don't know if he'll ever get to play much. But Neal going up 4 is going to be very helpful. Tackle, our top guy went up 6. Matt Hall. That was a big jump. That worked out well. Our lone left guard went up 4. That's good. What about center? Owens went up 6. Nice. Right guard 4 for John Cox. Don't know if he'll start, though. Yeah, actually, he may end up being our starter there. Right tackle, Chris Ford went up 3. Now he's at 87. Let's go to defensive end. So left end, McKenzie and Morrow went up 4 apiece, but McKenzie looks like he's our definite left end for next year. Right end, Bradley went up a couple. Look at defensive tackle, West, as senior, went up 4. Then we got Curtis, went up a couple. All these other guys went up 2. Outside linebacker, it's either 2 and 4, but look at the group here. Good group of guys. Middle linebacker, Sanders went up 2. He may be an impact guy by the time it's all said and done. He was before. And our worst guy, Higgins, went up 6. That was a good jump for him. Jalvin Higgins, he can maybe our starting middle linebacker in 2 years. Let's go to cornerback. So Smith, this was the transfer, but he's still our number one guy. And then we got Daniel Bridges, our nickel. He may still be at nickel. We'll just see how that goes. We'll deal with that in the next video. Free safety, Carter went up 4. That's good. I still don't know who's going to start here. The awareness matters, but the speed also matters as well. Again, he's just slow, so I'm not sure what to do about that there. But I don't want to burn this guy's red shirt either. I don't know. We'll figure that out. Strong safety, Little went up 5, but he's just a 70 overall now. So that's a good little bump for him. That worked out. So at least he's not as useless as he was at middle linebacker. And again, he's got 95 speed, and I can redshirt him finally. Kicker went up a couple, and our 2 punters went up 2 each. So that was really quick. All right, so let's move on to cutting players. As you can see, we do not have to cut anybody. We got exactly 70 guys on the roster. So is it worth my time cutting people? I guess not. I don't know. I mean, is it worth it? If I don't have to cut anybody, then why should I bother cutting? Does that make sense? But I do have to think about recruiting. You know, because if there's like the greatest quarterback ever is a local kid and wants to come next year, he may not want to come because the room's too full. Does that make sense? So like if you go to halfback, let's like pick like a really loaded position. Like cornerback is another one as well. But tight end, we got 4 guys here. All of them would come back. But is it worth it cutting like this guy who will never see the field? I don't know, but the fact that I don't have to cut anybody tells me what's the point of cutting? So we're not going to. So let's just move on to the next phase. This is the last phase of the video of the off season. We're not going to look at the depth chart. We'll deal with that in the preseason video, but let's look at our final roster heading into season 3 of this dynasty. You go over to the entire roster. We got 70 on there, and our best dudes is a middle linebacker, Eric Sanders. He's an impact guy. I kind of expected that. We got a fullback that's a 90 overall, but he doesn't play at all. He just doesn't fit our offense. And Tom Owens, redshirt sophomore. That's really good. So I like my recruiting rule. It makes things harder. We're just not loading up on a bunch of dudes that ends up with a bunch of guys in the plus 90 and whatnot. So I think that worked out really well, especially for where we're at. Iowa State, they're not known to bring in tons of great talent anyways. So quarterback, let's talk about jersey numbers and whatnot. So we know Fowler will more than likely be our starter next year, but we got a couple guys behind him that could compete. Let's look at their throwing power and accuracy. As you can see here, he's got the better arm of the 3, so he's been waiting a long time, so I'll probably give him the nod on that. But it's not what this is about. Let's talk about McNeil. Let's go down to him and Caesar. So Caesar, number 14, I'm going to give him something different. 14 was Rollins' number last year, so I want to give him something a little bit different. Let's go 8, 5. Let's give him 8. I like 8. Let's give him a single digit. And McNeil, he's number 4. I'm going to give him. Let's give him that. That's fine. I'm okay. Actually, that's a single digit. I'm going to give him something else. 4. We can give him 14. That was Rollins' old number, which is fine. I don't know if this kid will ever see the field, so I'm okay with doing that. But Caesar, I like to give him number 8. All right, halfback, we got little Jonathan Doty, 31. I want to give him something a little bit different. I don't know. He needs a smaller number. He's so little and he's so fast. I feel like he needs something better than that. My thought was 4. 3 plus 1 gives you 4. So that's where we're going to go with there. Again, he's 70 overall. Wide receiver, we picked up Kirk. I'm not going to give him 3. He needs something. He'll never see the field. So let's give him something a little bit different. Let's give him like 84, 85. Let's just give him like 84. That's fine. He doesn't deserve number 3. No offense to him. If he was at like a 78 overall, it'd be different. Now you look at this tight end, and over here, Vincent Baker, not him. Let's go to Temple. He is 81. We're going to give him a single digit number. He very well deserves it. Let me go here. Let's give him something different. 3, we can give him 5, 18. I actually like 18 instead of 81. He did have 81, right? Is that what it was? So let's give him 18. Let's flip that. I think he deserves that. Tackle or new guys, 66 for Rivers. That's fine. Then we got 72 for Brown. No big deal. You look at guard, the same thing. These guys are going to get 70. That guy's going to get 76 and 71. No big deal. And you got 67 for the center and Brian Reed. Again, that's a really good pickup for us. All right, defensive end. We did pick up a couple guys I think are going to be really good for us. Davidson and Willis. Do I need to give them single-digit numbers? I want to, or better numbers. Let's move on to the other positions just in case I don't forget somebody before we do that. Let's go to defensive tackle. We did pick up this guy right here who could get a better number too, but I'm okay with him having 92. Outside linebacker, we didn't get anybody new. We did pick up Kyle Busch. He can stick with 40. We didn't pick up any corners. Free safety. We did pick up Ryan Williams. He's number 6. We're going to give him something worse than that. No offense to him. We can give him... I may just give him like 30. Let's just give him 30. That's fine. He doesn't deserve 6. Strong safety, we got a 74, 27. That's fine. 28 is fine for the strong, that guy. And Kyle Little, he was already a 47. Is that technically a strong safety number? Probably not. Let's give him something different. Let's give him 37. That's a little bit better. Okay. Kicker, we didn't get anybody new. And then punter, we didn't get anybody new. So let's go back to those 2 defensive ends. I think both of them deserve better numbers. So Steve Willis, I'm going to give him, he was 95. Let's give him 5. And then Davidson was 91. Let's give him something else. Let's give him 19. That worked out great. Right, we get the flip numbers. I'm usually either adding the numbers, subtracting them, flipping the numbers. So he was 91. Now let's give him 19. I think that worked out great. That's awesome. All right, so I'm really excited about this upcoming season. We got a good group. I don't know. We'll probably have a similar success. I don't know. We'll say just a brand new quarterback, brand new halfback. Of course, Whitaker played quite a bit for us last year, but he wasn't the main guy. Wide receiver, Thomas is an impact player. So we had to replace Daughtery. I think Neal's going to have more of an impact on our offense this year. And our offensive line looks pretty solid, I think. Defensive end, new guys. Defensive tackle, new starters. A new starter there. No, this guy's coming back. Sanders is coming back. Corners, they're all coming back. But we got this new guy, Chad Smith. Free safety, I don't know what we're going to do there, but we'll figure it out. Then we got strong safety, a bunch of new guys. So we got a bunch of new guys across the board, but I'm really excited about the new guys coming in and what we have coming back. It's just going to be a really fun season 3. I'm looking forward to it, and I know you are as well. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later.